Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X. Yeah, I just got back from vacation. I have to put out some stuff right after another because of course, while I'm going on vacation, 3 of my best mates top a case tournament and we get a ban list. And like, I was just like, bro, like, why this week? Like, why this week? But nevertheless, we got to cover all of it because when the homies shine, the homies need to be shine. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now this deck may be a little odd because right after he topped with it, it got cracked in the head. But the crappy part is not necessarily his build that got cracked in the head. Like the field card got affected, we all see that. But my homie Nick was actually playing mid-range King Vegeta, not aggro, free play BS, but like actual let me set up with the cards the way they were intended to and show you the supreme power of SSB Vegeta 5-drop. Mr. Thanos himself, because like your battle cards come into play and they turn into dust. Like that's essentially what the deck does when it's got its full setup up. So I'm excited to show you the deck list, and even if the deck is kind of, you know, a little out there right now, I hope you guys find the video enjoyable. Hope you guys learned something, and we'll be able to kind of go into the matchups that he felt were easy, weak, things like that, and maybe even get some insight on where he thinks the deck could go from here. We'll see. We'll see if we can get that out of him. Might be a little hard to get that out of him. Juicing for the content. Anywho, I'm just gonna put him on screen. Please introduce yourself. So right before we introduce the man himself, let me go into the normal plugs. If you haven't been to the Facebook community group, try it out. It's an excellent forum for information, for gossip, for, you know, a little skullduggery every now and then. And you'll find a lot of like-minded people, or maybe adverse-minded people that also enjoy the same game. Also, hop by the normal official site because that's where Bandai puts up a lot of their spoilers. And if you feel like talking with the homies and me occasionally when I find the time, join the Discord. I also have a Facebook group that I kind of neglect, but I kind of put stuff in there sometimes. You should see in my last video, I read off all the comments about the ban list and answered them on video. Just little things I like to do. And then last but not least, join us on Thursday night for the live session where we just really kick it about Dragon Ball and anything Dragon Ball related. That being said, we're gonna pull over the man, the myth, the legend, the master of red himself, Mr. Nick. He's gonna actually walk across the screen now, or he's gonna stare at me off screen. It's one of those two. Yo, he's just staring at me. Hold up. Yeah, hold up. You can just come over here.
Why?
I'm cutting off that part. You can just come over here in front of the camera and at least say hi.
Oh. What? I hate everything.
And that's the video, guys. So thank you guys for watching. JK though, we're gonna actually get into the deck profile and we're gonna switch the way the setup is and roll right into it. All right, so we got the setup, and I'll just let Nick take it away. I mean, top cut at the case tournament that happened in Virginia Beach. Shout out to Comic Kings. Shout out to Mike from MRG, Jimmy as well from Hermit Style, and because they always host the raddest case tournaments. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the deck you piloted to top cut.
Alright, so first, what we got on top here, this is your Unison. This is the only Unison you should be playing. There should be 4. It's probably somewhere else in here. I'll find it later. Piccolo Junior Unison, we all know what it does. It comes down, draws you a card, activates your counterplays. Enough said. We'll go into one of the more core cards, which is the Young Invaders field itself. Completely skipped over. It's the most important card, actually. If you don't already know what it does, it places a one of the small Saiyans into your opponent's battle area at the start of their turn. Typically, they'll crit one, draw one. I think they all do that. It's all the ones I play, at least. And it enables you to play these high-value cards for cheap. And then the leader will obviously place it into your battle area at the start of the game. Swings top 5, draws a oh, there's the it swings, goes top 5, and grabs any Saiyan. Most of these cards are Saiyans that are battle cards, except for a couple of really good ones. And then when it'll flip over when your opponent's at 4, or when you're at 4, you'll go to 5 if your opponent's at 4. So your main draw engine here, or draw, it breaks even, but this is switching gears. It'll bottom deck one of the dudes, and I say don't I? It'll bottom deck the small guys you play for free. They'll come down and draw you 2 in case you can get rid of stuff you don't need, or this deck's basically meant to plow through the deck. You don't actually like draw too many cards, but you really just get rid of cards you don't need and cards that you do need. So this deck's this card is it'll mainly do that for you.
King Filter.
King Filter, yep. Your other guy who will come down for cheaper cost with the young Invaders is Super Saiyan God Vegeta to the next level. Instead of being free, like switching gears, it'll cost you 1, and he'll go top 5 for Mono Red Saiyan, replacing itself if you hit, and he's also a critical body. Most of these cards replace themselves. You'll see that a common theme. This card was the MVP of the weekend, is the MVP of the deck. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta at full power. Incredible card. It replaces itself on play, has deflect, which is really important, and while it's in rest mode, every time your opponent plays a battle card or attacks with a battle card, they'll get minus 10k per turn, which will synergize with your leader. Which I forgot to mention, when it's on the back, has a once per turn. Anytime a card is minus in power on any turn, once per turn, it'll an extra minus 10. So essentially, the first card played gets minus 20, which is a lot of cards don't survive that. And then if he relieved the battle area via skill, which is how you're mostly going to remove him anyway, because he's just so large, is he'll crit one of your opponent's life. So it makes it really hard for them to deal with this card, which is the main crux of the deck. This little small package here.
And you don't have unique.
And you don't have unique. You basically win if you have 2 of them on the field. I'll put these guys away. We already know what these guys do. For the Young Invaders I've been talking about so much, I play 5. You can play 4. I like 5 because my opponents get rid of them pretty easily, and I don't play a way to get them back in this deck. It hasn't felt necessary.
Hey, editing Chris here. And the next couple seconds are exactly why, when you're in the middle of making videos, yeah, don't look at text, yeah, don't open up snaps, yeah, don't, just don't. It looks very unprofessional. Sometimes works out, makes funny moments, but lesson learned, maybe? I don't know, I'll probably mess up in the future. Back to the video.
So, your first Young Invader, we only play 2 different kinds, is the Vegeta. When he comes into play, if your opponent's leader card is a King Vegeta BR card, you'll crit a life and draw 1 card from your deck, and these come into your opponent's battle area, so they're the master of the skill, so since their opponent, us, is King Vegeta BR, they'll use this effect. It's also got a secondary effect to where when one of your cards is attacked, you'll get -5 for the battle. Since it's in your opponent's battle area, it's a good thing. He has unique. You typically get rid of him pretty quick. And the next one is Raditz. Just the extra ones, if you really wanted to, you can do 4 Vegeta and 1 Raditz, since the Vegeta has an extra effect. I had 2 Raditz, so I wanted to play them. It doesn't really, this -5 isn't like really big. Or I think we just run 2 just to make my opponent think a little more. Do I play the Goku, the Broly? There's a couple guys that come down. He's the generic one. So like they can all, like Vegeta can only remove Vegeta. And then the Raditz, they can all just remove the Raditz. So he's just more of a generic and a little bit of a fake out. Let's see. Next up, we'll have 2 Wolf Fangs. They're free with your unison. -15 if you haven't used your leader effect, -25. Free is good. 4 Violent Rays. We don't like Debro. Debro is bad. It's very scary. It's one of your harder matchups, so that's why we main 4. I don't want to lose my game 1. I'd rather just win games 1 and 2, hopefully, and get that out of the way.
That's what men do.
Violent Ray is a strong card in that format.
Well, women do too. We're not sexist here on UniX DBS.
4 Raditz Super Combo, searchable with your leaders, front skill, top 5 for a Saiyan. Also with the 3-drop Vegeta that we went over earlier. Best red Super Combo. King Piccolo New Ruler, rip my mans. Play 3 of, a really good card. 20k double striker for free if you have your unison out. We got 4 Yamcha Merciless Barrage. Free with your unison once per turn, essentially. He'll come down, he'll give 2 of your opponent's cards -15, or battle cards, excuse me. And if you have your leader skill, it'll give an extra 10. As you see, a lot of this stuff has to do with his back leader skill. We were in a format where battle cards are really important, and this leader destroys most battle cards with the extra 10. The extra 10 is really important. So we play a lot of cards that synergize with it, like the Yamchas and the two wolf fangs. Speaking of which, we play 2 Freeze's Death Ball. It's a really good card in other red decks already, but with the added effect that it synergizes with the leader, you really always want to be proccing this leader effect if able to. Sometimes it fizzles, and that's okay if your opponent's doing a lot of play around it. As long as they're spending resources or doing things incorrectly, quote-unquote, to get them less value, then you're winning. Your main goal in this deck is to outvalue your opponent. That's hence why we play all these cards that replace themselves, and we basically get rid of their field for free while amassing our own pure value. 3 Broly Crown of Retributions. Topo was a really prevalent card. We instead of playing something like Denial of Hope or playing something like Omen of Awakening, which we can with the 2-drop Unison, we opt for Broly because it gives us that extra hand reveal. So, and I mean, if you're trying to get rid of Topo anyway, they have to have 2 open anyway. So, bang. Sometimes you can catch your opponent slipping with it. If they're leaving 2 open, you know, maybe they had not a lackluster turn. That huge info on your opponent's hand is really big for a surprise kill turn that you wouldn't otherwise be able to go in for. 2 Testing Oppositions, great with a leader that flips over and takes up down to 5 life. Once you go to 5, opponent's turn, immediately use it, block with it, and now your super combos are live for free, essentially.
You block 2 cards, and your super combos live.
Value. Value, value. It's the name of the game. King Vegeta's imposing
wait. Why they mix match?
Why they... Oh, well, I couldn't find the third one. So we play 3 of this card. Really good for the format we're in with the aggro version of King Vegeta or any other weedy swarm decks. It's basically a sensory beam for your leader. You can use it for free. Synergize with your leader as well with the initial -10. Pretty good for that format. We play the 1 of Champa. It's Champa. We play a 1 of Vegito. It's like a panic button versus Debro. If you get to turn 4, -2, they literally can't play the game. It's just a 1 of tech. I like it. I'm a big Vegito fan, so I'm like, put it in. Couldn't hurt too much.
Only play it if you can fight the person you played it against, because they might rage. You don't want that smoke. We play a 1 of Fighting Against Fate. You'll filter a lot of cards, so you'll find him. So I only really play 1 in this deck. The point of the deck is not to aggro your opponent down. Kinda. Like, you'll get there. Like, you'll put them to 4 pretty fast with the young Invaders. So as you poke them down, they'll eventually run out of cards. So he's a great finisher. Couple that with Broly Crown, you can really just plan out your opponent's entire hand. For the last card, we have the Secret Rare, Kai. Best Secret Rare that you can play, besides Baby Hatch. If you're not playing Kai, you're trolling. Also, only play that card if you can fight the person across from you who's probably going to try to steal it from you if you're playing in Maryland.
Yeah. Sideboard.
Yes, Chicago too, Detroit.
For the sideboard, we got 2 Wolfgangs, just in case you really are not enjoying your King Vegeta aggro matchup. It's normally pretty okay since we main the King Vegeta's Imposing Presence and you have this 5-drop Vegeta. You can get him onto the field safely. They'll pretty much solo the entire match for you. The only thing that really dealt with him in that deck was Belmont, but they have no battle cards to sack. They can't play Belmont, so he'll get rid of most of their little weenie 15Ks, coupled with Yamcha. We have 3 Jiren, Legend of Universe 11. Great for blue matchups since he's just a unison of double strike. They can't God Sealing it. They can Zamasu it, but you'll just have to deal with it. If they have 2 of it for Zamasu, maybe opt for a different play. The extra Broly Crown, very clutch in blue matchups and against other decks that want to just sit there and stare at you. You're pretty good in your control game, but some decks do play a heavier card that will really destroy you through that Vegeta, so you really want to get that stuff out the way. So Crown. Make sure a little clairvoyance to see what you're doing. Play 2 Topo. I kind of hate Topo. I sided him once and he got Focus Breakthrough, so I'm not sure about him. It is Topo, so maybe you can catch your opponent slipping with him. 2 Kaiokins. I sided him once, maybe twice, just for like weedy swarm decks. They have a bunch of 15Ks, 3 mana, get rid of all of it. Wasn't really a problem because you have Yamcha and this Vegeta. Most of the deck revolves around having this Vegeta. 2 Protector of the People to make sure your King Vegeta matchup is as easy as possible. The deck can clap you, but if you side correctly and build correctly, it's never too big of an issue. The Broken Seal, I figured it was pretty good, just in case you get one of those linear strategies. I know the Gogeta 8 had just came out, and that card's really strong, and since I'm not trying to aggro my opponent, they're likely going to get to 4 pretty easily. So it's a good card. It actually happened. I actually needed it for the Gogeta 8. Just help me for a turn to get that win. You have the almighty one of Shrouded in Mystery. You play it against blue, you'll have your crowns to really get rid of them God Sealings. And then once you play it, really shut them down pretty permanently. Finish the game for you. That's really it.
That's really it. Alrighty then. So did you have any particular matchups that you felt were easier or harder than normal?
I did play. So I guess throughout my tournament, round 1 was blue-black Soul Striker versus my teammate Daryl.
Ah, yes.
His deck was pretty spicy. I needed it for the. It was hard because everything in his deck is a blocker, which is annoying, and they're big. So Fighters of Vegeta really wasn't like there to remove them at the moment they came down like he normally does in this format.
He was not bussin'.
He was bussing, but not soloing the whole deck like he normally does. So that was quite annoying. Round 2 was just a regular Soul Striker. Pretty simple match. Crown of Retribution. Play 5 Vegeta. Solos the most of their deck. They can't really remove it easily. As long as they don't remove it easily, you get value out of it. If they spend resources removing it just to crit a life, value, they're one life closer to being chomped. And you only really need to do that twice. Once they're at 2, just swing. You're going to amass so much super combos and Freeze's Death Ball. Champa will kill him. Round 3 was, I did hit an aggro King Vegeta. It was a pretty tough match. I opened my game 1 with a King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. So that made, I was able to get to turn 4.
So the whole deck folded?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to get to turn 4 without Awakening. So that got pretty crazy and out of hand. And game 2, I sided on Protectors of the People as I found those. It pretty much let me get to the turn 3 pretty easily. I didn't have to really do too much thinking. I just kind of played a Floodgate and stared. It's a pretty impressive combo. Round 4 is against King Cold. Super chill dude. The deck doesn't really do much versus this.
Was that Jameer? Was that Jameer?
Jameer.
He runs the broken TCG thing?
No,
Working on it?
It was Chad.
Chad?
Yeah,
Oh, hey, Chad.
It was
Sorry. I was trying to shout out. Shout out to my dude, Broken Honor. He makes videos and they're cool, and he's based out in Virginia Beach. So
I see.
let's keep going.
Yeah, the King Cold match is pretty simple. They don't play a lot of meaningful battle cards, so you'd think it'd be bad, but like if I don't have to use resources on battle cards, I just kind of have a huge hand. So he found it pretty tough to punch through me. As all my battle cards broke even, I drew every turn with my leader and my Unison. So I used just amass cards and really stare at them. There wasn't too much. The first couple turns were a little scary because King Cold's got that untap 2, super slept on untapped ability. Untapping 2 is very strong, so they're able to really push that game state to put me lower.
Oh, okay. I was about to call King Cold trash. Continue.
That's really it. That was my round 4. I only dropped a game to my teammate Daryl, the blue-black Soul Striker. The rest of them were pretty clean 2-0s. Great opponents. This 5-drop is really the king. It's really good. It's absurdly good. I'm surprised I haven't seen it more, honestly. You go to your turn 3 with nothing on your board, you use your activate main, grab a little guy, you go into switching gears, and you evolve right on top of him for 3 energy. If they don't have something that immediately removes it, that's a free turn, soloed, free 25k double striker, super valuable. You're like all of these cards just break even. All you want to do is break even and pressure your opponent's hand. As long as you break even, you get 1 card out of your opponent's hand. That's a dub.
Super dumb.
Super dub.
So my last question is a King Vegeta main and a King Vegeta main that wasn't going super degenerate. How do you feel about the deck now that both ends of the field card cost 1 energy?
I mean, it sucks, but now we're about to enter a very slow format, considering they didn't touch blue at all. So there's nothing stopping blue from getting to however energy they need to really play their big cards. You theoretically could still play it and pay 1 for all these effects, because it's not like no one's doing anything the first 4 turns anyway. So you could do that. It's just gonna feel bad because I don't want to pay 1 for switching gears. I don't want to essentially pay 1 because I have to pay 1 for this skill. I don't want to pay 1 for, or not 1. I want to pay 2 for this card just for it to replace itself. I can just pay 2 for Monkey and draw 2, or plus 1 because you have to get Monkey out of hand. Like I really look at it as adding an extra 1 mana to every one of these cards. This card at 4 is not value. This card at 2 is not value. This card at 1 is still okay because that's a pretty decent effect. It just makes me sad because like you do these effect, like you can pay mana for all this, but what's that doing? You can't get you don't have enough mana for your Unison. You don't have enough mana for Kai. You can go the free negate route, but like the crux of the deck was really the Unison. As much as I sing the praises of this card, the Piccolo Unison was just so crazy with the Yamcha combo. It was able to like really carry the whole deck, almost by not by itself, but it really gave it that extra defense. If I can find the Piccolo, here he is. Like these two plus your leader skill. Most cards that are good come from skills because we like to ignore cost around here. So counter window 2 Yamcha, because the only way you can play it and get the card on play, is really clutch. And when this Unison, when you're swinging and they're countering and you're just being like, bang, get that one out of here, bang, that one's gone too. They start every turn with no board, and you've got a board of Unison with 3 markers, a Yamcha, this guy in rest mode, and you can do that all of this. Your turn 1 could be this guy plus switching gears, into turn 2 this, into turn 3 this. That was the money. The first 3 turns to really accelerate your value. Now that you have to wait an extra turn for all of these, you're not going to die, but you're going to fall behind to just better cards, because these cards were good for for the turns they came out, not for the mana cost, in my opinion. So when this card comes out turn 3, it's, oh dang, I don't got nothing for this. I'm about to really pass here because I can't play anything. 2 double strike swings. The turn you played it, the turn they pass, eventually they'll get rid of it. They'll crit a life. They'll go to Champa Ranch and you'll have this huge hand of super combos, freezes death ball, all this junk. So now you have to wait an extra turn. That's a turn extra they can get to playing their huge Overrealm, or there's a ton of blue cards that are like really high cost and really good to play, but you weren't able to get to them like you were before. You couldn't really get to them in the format this was played in. So it feels bad. I don't think they needed to hit the field ball like that, but it is what it is.
I will also definitely agree. A single turn versus blue on when you were going to push versus when you maybe can push now is the difference between pushing them a couple negates out and like 5-6 cards in hand versus them stabilizing and walling you out with. Heck, that could be the difference between your turn 3 pushing into a turn where they don't have enough energy to baby hatch versus them simply having enough energy to baby hatch and then stabilize on their following 4th turn. So yeah, that is kind of a little odd, but we're definitely gonna have an interesting time at Gen Con. We are all going to Gen Con, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. But with that being said, do you have any closing notes, Sir Nick?
Not really. I mean, I just thought this card was super slept on. That's it.
Facts. Well, that was NMFG, the Notorious, by the way. And that's his deck profile on Midrange King Vegeta. Actually, it's kind of Midrange Prince Vegeta if you really think about it. Like, he's really carrying most of the deck on his back. So, I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys maybe got some ideas on where to go from here. Let me know in the comments if you think you're still going to be playing King Vegeta post field card like nerf. Just let me know what you think about the deck, and yeah, just anything you really want to put down there. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.